Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in on this storyline that's been getting reposted, reshared up and down the timeline again and again as it started to hit the internet the other day. And I didn't pay no attention to it because I said there's no evidence of it. People was alluding to stuff, and I'm seeing people adding on with the Pooh, Shiesty, Gucci Mane label deal with Yo Gotti and Gucci Mane being robbed to the point now they just said that Pooh Shiesty that went in and got the man kidnapped and robbed because he didn't want to let him out the contract. Let me say this, y'all. This is complete BS and it's terrible. And I don't like the fact that this is what hip hop and the culture has become as far as like media or things just getting pushed out there like they are factually true, where people are trying to solve crimes, do real live PI work and investigation from their cell phones, from their Wi-Fi's, from their cameras, from their microphones, and talk like they got undebatable evidence.
What happens when the internet decides someone is guilty before a single fact is proven? What happens when rumors turn into headlines, theories turn into breaking news, and social media users start playing detective, prosecutor, and judge all at the same time? That is exactly what we are watching unfold right now, with the wild claims linking Pooh Shiesty to the alleged kidnapping and robbery of Gucci Mane. Story did not start with police reports. It did not start with court documents. It did not start with victims speaking out or authorities confirming an investigation. It started on the internet, where speculation spreads faster than truth and engagement matters more than evidence. One post turned into 10 videos. 10 videos turned into a narrative. And suddenly, people are speaking as if a man who just came home from federal prison decided to throw his
where he probably can't even leave the area that he's in without them knowing about it, but he's willing to be bold enough, to be that just crazy enough. I'm gonna go kidnap Gucci Mane. I'm gonna go get Gucci Mane robbed because me and him not seeing eye to eye. Now let me be clear with y'all. I haven't talked to nobody. I haven't had communication with nobody over there, but guess what I can say? Nobody else has either with the storylines, because if they did, they would be providing some type of proof. Where's the proof at? Who wants to be connected and tied to a robbery and be a part of a plot and scheme on the internet? Now, can Gucci Mane get robbed? Of course, anybody can get robbed. I don't care how gangster you is, bro. The toughest of the toughest, hardest gangsters and steppers and shooters and killers, they all can be robbed, and a lot of them have been robbed. That's a part of the game. That don't make you less of a man. That don't make you weak. Losing a fight, losing a squabble don't make you less than a man, make you weak. Life, you're going to take L's in it. And if you're playing in the streets, them are the type of L's you're going to take when you in the streets or you a street dude. Anybody can get took down. So could Gucci Mane have gotten robbed? Yes, possibly, allegedly. But guess what? Where's the proof at? Where's the evidence at? Why is this being discussed on the internet? They are all rumors, and I'm seeing more people pile on to them. Now, could Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane not be seen to eye? Possibly. Maybe so, but Pooh Shiesty posted up to a story today. He obviously
entire life away over a contract. Big Ed from Urban Politicians TV is calling it exactly what it looks like. Nonsense with no proof. And that matters because hip-hop media has reached a dangerous point. A point where saying allegedly is used as a shield to push unverified, potentially life-destroying accusations. A point where a rumor sounds better than reality. So people choose entertainment over integrity. This is not about defending anyone blindly. This is about asking one simple question that too many people are refusing to ask. Where is the evidence? If this story were real, there would be paperwork. It would be arrests. There would be statements. Instead, there are theories, recycled clips, and internet investigators connecting dots that may not even exist. Today, we are going to deeply analyze why this narrative makes no sense, why it keeps spreading anyway, and how hip-hop culture keeps repeating the same mistake every time a major rumor hits the timeline. Because if we do not slow this down now, the next rumor could cost someone their
Pooh Shiesty has most definitely been on some, hey, I'ma move smarter. He's speaking more like straight to handling business, speaking with more of an adult mindset. Prison most definitely made him a different thinker. Now, people do go to prison and come home and do the same thing again. Possibly, yes. That happens in the world. That ain't no rap thing. That ain't no hip hop thing. That ain't no Pooh Shiesty thing. That ain't no gangster thing. That's just globally what certain people do. But we got to tell ourselves, Pooh Shiesty, the guy with all this money, all these platinum plaques, all this opportunity, one of the hottest records in the game and in rap and hip hop in these last few months, one of the hottest records in the streets, probably his record and the G Herbo record within the last year that went legit, got to be the top two things I see just going crazy everywhere when they dropped. And we gonna think that he would risk all that to get up out of a contract, which that's not gonna get him out of a contract anyways. Kidnapping my CEO of the label, that's not gonna get him to free me from no contract. If anything, that's gonna make him lock down in on him more. I don't know if Gucci and Pooh Shiesty are having issues. People that went sold that when Gucci Mane took down the old post, cool, people have issues all the time. But from that, we just get to the point, man, he tried to get him kidnapped by his homies. He tried to force him to let him out the contract. They had an argument. He went over there with Gotti. Fam, let the people come out and confirm this stuff. Let them come out and tell us what's going on. Why do we come in the game and try to put these stories together? I've always been against that. That ain't never been my lane. But some of my supporters, well, hey, you don't know, but guess what? The other people don't know either. So guess what? When you don't know, you don't jump out the window. When you can't confirm, you don't go out there and act like you got the real actual facts and try to put yourself in the mix of something that you know nothing about. That's why I sit back and I wait. I don't make news. I don't break news. I get and talk and speak about the news, and if it's not all the way factual, then I will come through and say, well, this is alleged. Not everybody just run alleged just because they want to push a negative storyline or a false storyline, or they hear some rumblings or they hear a rumor, but hey, this one sounds way more better than the actual thing that I heard, or I heard this and I want to put a little bit 10 on 2 with it. Let me go ahead and just throw out allegedly so people can't come back and blame me and say that I was lying because I used the allegedly in front of it. Come on, dog. Where we at now? Where the integrity at? Where the morals at? Bro, this man just came home from prison and y'all ready to throw a kidnapping charge on dog? Do y'all know what type of time he can get for that?
Freedom, their career, or even their life. Big Ed opens his message with frustration, and that frustration is not random. It comes from watching the same cycle repeat itself over and over again in hip-hop media. A rumor hits the internet. People add their own theories. Influencers pile on for views. And before long, an unverified claim is treated as established fact. In this case, the claim is that Pooh Shiesty allegedly had something to do with Gucci Mane being kidnapped or robbed over a contract dispute. According to Big Ed, this entire storyline is complete BS, and his reasoning deserves serious attention. The first major issue Big Ed highlights is the total lack of evidence. No police report has been shown. No arrest has been made. No official statement has been released by law enforcement, Gucci Mane, 1017 Records, or anyone directly involved. Yet people are speaking with confidence, acting like they have insider information. This is not journalism. This is speculation, disguised as news. Big Ed makes an important point about how people misuse the word allegedly. In real reporting, allegedly is used when there is an official accusation or legal action that has not yet been proven in court. On the internet, allegedly is often used as a loophole, a way to say something wild while avoiding accountability. Saying allegedly does not magically turn a rumor into a responsible statement. If there is no foundation underneath it, it is still a rumor. He then connects this situation to past examples that prove how unreliable internet investigations usually are. Big Ed brings Step XXXTentacion, PNB Rock, and Young Dolph. In all of those cases, the internet immediately blamed multiple people, creating narratives that later turned out to be completely wrong. Innocent names were dragged into serious accusations, and once the truth came out, the damage was already done. That history matters, because it shows that this is not an isolated problem, it is a pattern. One of the strongest parts of Big Ed's argument is the logic behind the accusation itself. Pooh Shiesty just came home from federal prison. Anyone with basic knowledge of the justice system understands that individuals coming home from federal time are often under strict
Politicians TV. I'm gonna add the links for the app and the website in the description. I got 3 new videos out on there in the past week or so that y'all can check into, covering different topics. Patreon, raw and uncut things that I couldn't get to on YouTube. Longer versions of videos, me popping it straight off the top, right off the cuff. Let the boys know what's up with all the stuff. Stay on your pivot, bro. Cover for shit show.
Supervision. Movement is monitored. Behavior is watched closely. The idea that someone in that position would immediately plan a kidnapping or robbery, especially involving one of the biggest names in hip-hop, defies common sense. Big Ed also addresses the contract angle, which is central to the rumor. The claim suggests that Pooh Shiesty would risk everything to get out of a contract by allegedly targeting Gucci Mane, but that logic falls apart quickly. Kidnapping or robbing a label head would not free someone from a contract. If anything, it would make the situation worse, leading to longer sentences, more legal problems, and complete destruction of a career. Contracts are handled in courtrooms, not through street actions. Another key point is motivation. Pooh Shiesty has money, platinum plaques, and momentum. Big Ed reminds listeners that Pooh Shiesty has been one of the hottest artists in the streets. With records performing at a high level, from a rational standpoint, there is no incentive to throw all of that away. While people do sometimes make irrational decisions, accusations of this magnitude require more than it could happen. They require proof. Big Ed also emphasizes the moral responsibility of media platforms. He clearly states that he does not break news. He discusses news. That distinction matters. Responsible commentary involves waiting for facts, labeling speculation clearly, and being willing to say we don't know yet. In contrast, much of today's hip-hop media thrives on immediacy. Whoever posts first gets the clicks, even if they are wrong. Another serious issue Big Ed raises is the legal weight of the accusation. Kidnapping is not a small charge. For someone with prior federal history, even being associated with such an accusation can be devastating. People online often forget that these are not fictional characters. These are real individuals facing real legal systems with real consequences. He also points out the hypocrisy in how the audience consumes these stories. Many people say they want the truth, but what they really want is entertainment. A dramatic narrative spreads faster than a boring reality. A complex legal situation does not trend as well as a shocking accusation. This creates a system where exaggeration is rewarded and restraint is punished. Big Ed further criticizes how people connect unrelated dots. Someone notices Gucci Mane took down a post. Someone else notices Pooh Shiesty posted a workout video. Suddenly, these unrelated actions are stitched together into a conspiracy. This is not evident. This is pattern-seeking behavior driven by imagination, not facts. He also touches on personal growth and accountability. Big Ed acknowledges that people can come home from prison and re-offend. That happens. But he also points out that Pooh Shiesty has shown signs of wanting to move smarter, focused on business, and rebuild. Ignoring that context while pushing a criminal narrative is irresponsible. Another powerful moment in Big Ed's commentary is when he challenges the audience directly. He asks whether people would bet their last dollar on this story being true. That question forces honesty. If you are not willing to bet on it, then deep down, you know it is not solid. And if it is not solid, why spread it? The larger issue here is what this says about hip-hop culture as a whole. Big Ed argues that integrity is disappearing. The line between commentary and accusation is blurred. People feel comfortable playing investigator without training, access to facts, or accountability. That culture creates real harm. He also explains how partial truths are often used to justify false narratives. Something minor may have happened, like a disagreement or tension, and then layers of falsehood are added on top. Later, when one small detail turns out to be accurate, people say the whole story was right, but that ignores the damage caused by the lies added along the way. Big Ed ends by calling for patience. Let the facts come out. Let official statements be made. Let law enforcement do their job. Until then, everything remains alleged, unconfirmed, and unproven. He makes it clear that until there is real evidence, he considers the story nonsense. This entire situation is a case study in how rumors grow in the digital age. It shows how quickly narratives form, how slowly corrections spread, and how dangerous it is to confuse speculation with truth. Whether this story turns out to be completely false or partially true, the way it has been handled online is already a failure of responsibility. At the end of the day, Big Ed is not asking people to defend Pooh Shiesty. He is asking people to defend facts. And in a culture that increasingly values clicks over credibility, that might be the most radical stance of all.